This presentation analyzes the responses of participants at the Transportation Assets and Barriers workshop held in Corydon on February 24th and a random sample survey sent to Corydon residents. The information in the following slides aims to inform the Corydon Visioning Committee and design team during the design process. We conducted community focus groups and sent a random sample survey to 250 Corydon households. The quantitative data collected from the survey responses complement the qualitative information gathered at the focus groups. Different transportation users have different needs and priorities. Older adults want access to local services. Active recreationists want to be challenged while engaging in physical activity. Parents are concerned for the safety of their children. Individuals with mobility challenges want smooth surfaces and safe traffic crossings. Youth want complete sidewalks and safe traffic crossings. We conducted focus groups with people from 4 of these different demographics to better understand the transportation system in Corydon. All user types drive and walk to local destinations. Older adults, youth, and parents bike around town. Parents and older adults enjoy riding their golf carts. Parents and youth like to run for exercise. Focus group participants were asked what they consider to be community assets. For Corydon residents, scenic views and connection to nature are important elements. Plentiful amenities and smooth paths, such as those at the athletic complex, provide numerous opportunities for recreation. Safety, primarily from limited vehicular traffic, is a significant contributor to the popularity of Corydon Lake Park, the athletic complex, and Corydon Cemetery. Adults appreciate the pedestrian and cyclist connections to Corydon Lake Park. The local parks around Corydon are popular among residents, especially Corydon Lake Park. Residents spoke about the park's close access to nature and plentiful amenities, including frisbee golf, camping, fishing, and boating. Actives especially appreciate the long distances and low traffic that let them run around the reservoir easily. During the focus groups, participants also identified undesirable features in town. Residents pointed out that street flooding is a common occurrence because Corydon doesn't have storm drains. Broken, narrow, or missing sidewalks throughout town are vexing to all user types. Speeding traffic posed concerns for pedestrian safety, especially along Highways 2 and 14, and congestion becomes an issue around the athletic complex during events. Challenges stemming from winter weather and deteriorating road conditions are also issues for all groups. Older adults, youth, and parents mentioned that visibility was an issue for traffic turning onto Highway 2, around the courthouse square, and along Highway 14 at the railroad bridge. Finally, focus group participants had the opportunity to tell us what changes they want in Corydon. A common refrain for all groups was "fix the roads," especially the main roadways and West and Lincoln Streets. All groups spoke about the need for high-quality, well-maintained, and contiguous sidewalks around town, especially along Highway 2 with a connection to East Penn. Actives, older adults, and youth want a trail loop around Corydon, linking places such as Corydon Lake Park, the golf course, and the hospital. Parents and youth would like greater pedestrian safety and traffic controls, including designated crossings on the east and west ends of Highway 2 and Highway 14 at English Street, as well as 4-way stops at the Square and Dollar General. In addition to the focus groups, we distributed a random sample survey to 250 households. Understanding what types of improvements are important to residents gives the committee insight on how to prioritize projects. The information summarized here includes respondents' willingness to help, their enhancement priorities, preferred commuting, biking, and walking routes, and qualities they desire on their biking and trail routes. More than 54% of respondents indicated they were willing to help with the visioning process, whether it be volunteering time, money, or both. How do we get people to help? According to an ISU study of small Iowa towns in 2014, a common reason residents said they didn't become involved in community projects was that no one asked them. Others indicated they didn't know how to become involved. These results show that the best way to get people involved in community projects is to simply ask them, along with advertising opportunities through traditional and social media outlets. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the most important, participants in Corydon ranked providing more accessibility for seniors as the most valuable transportation enhancement. Other enhancements that address pedestrian mobility, safety, and health, such as better lighting for night use, safer routes to school, and better pedestrian connections, are also considered important. Regarding the quality of the built environment, survey respondents consider better neighborhood streetscapes as the most beneficial, followed by enhanced seasonal beauty and habitats for birds and pollinators. Most survey respondents drive to important destinations such as the grocery store, post office, school, and church. More than 22% carpool or ride with someone else. Approximately 24% of participants said they walk, and 6% bike to their destinations. This map shows the commuting routes identified by 26 survey respondents. The frequency that the routes are used is depicted by their width, with the routes used most often being the thickest. The primary commuting corridor into and out of Corydon is Highway 2, with most traffic entering and leaving town west of the business district. Some commuters travel along Highway 14. In town, people often travel east-west on Jefferson, Anthony, South, and English streets, and go north-south on Lincoln, West, Franklin, and East streets. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the most important, survey participants ranked the characteristics and features that factor into their choice of commuting route. Among Corydon participants, avoiding weather-related issues such as snow and ice is the most significant factor when determining commuting routes. Time to destination was the second most important factor for Corydon commuters. This map shows the walking routes identified by 33 survey respondents. The frequency that the routes are used is depicted by their width, with the routes used most often being the thickest. Survey respondents reported that the trail south of the elementary school is a popular place to walk, along with Corydon Cemetery and the road through Walden Park. Along city streets, the most heavily used walking routes include West Street from the high school southward, East Street between East Jackson Street and Walden Park, South Street between South Butler and South Jackson Streets, and the streets within the business district. Some people walk to Corydon Lake Park, and some go to the ballpark and fairgrounds. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the most important, survey participants ranked the characteristics and features that improve their walking experience. These features are categorized as either connections or conditions and elements. Corydon respondents consider conditions and elements as more important determiners of their walking routes. Good quality sidewalks are the most significant to walkers, followed by adequate lighting. This map shows the biking routes identified by 7 survey respondents. The frequency that the routes are used is depicted by their width, with the routes used most often being the thickest. Corydon cycling routes are similar but less extensive than the walking routes, including East Street, South Street, the business district streets, and the cemetery. Some cyclists ride to Corydon Lake Park, and a few ride to the ballpark. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the most important, survey participants ranked the characteristics and features that improved their biking experience. These features are categorized as either connections or conditions and elements. Corydon participants consider connections more important than conditions and elements in determining biking routes. Access to trails and access to natural areas are equally important to survey respondents. In terms of conditions and elements, low vehicular traffic is the most significant factor, followed by well-kept surroundings and adequate lighting. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the most important, survey participants ranked the characteristics and features that improved their trail experience. These features are categorized as either connections or conditions and elements. Conditions and elements are more important to Corydon trail users than connections. Well-kept surroundings are the most important condition among trail users, followed by trees and shade and adequate lighting, which tied for second most important. In terms of connections, access to natural areas is the most important. If you have any questions about this presentation or the community visioning process, contact the members of your local visioning committee or check us out on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. A complete set of assessment presentation boards can be found on the Corydon webpage at www.communityvisioning.org/Corydon.